Thank you for joining this afternoon. My name is Dr. Wendy Ma. I'm a Senior Program Director here at Hong Kong SPACE. Sitting next to me, for those who are in the audience know, I have Ms. Cami Young, who's also one of our program team here at Hong Kong SPACE. This afternoon, we are going to share the topic on From Passion to Profession, a journey to become a nutritionist and a dietitian. So what we would like to do today is actually share with you the pathways we have to learning to be ordered to become a nutritionist or a dietitian to practice in Hong Kong. You'll see on the slide there's actually 4 names. So actually our food and nutrition team are actually comprised of 4 people. Unfortunately, Dr. So and Dr. Young weren't able to make it today, but they are also members of our team who teach on various aspects of the nutritionist programs that we will share this afternoon. So let's begin our talk. First of all, as I said from the course, from the title, we are going to talk about how you could become a nutritionist and how can you become a dietitian. So I think it's really important to understand what is the difference between the two. So in Chinese, nutritionists are called 营养学家, and in Chinese, the dietitians are called 营养师. So what are the major differences? Well, there are actually not a lot of differences. There's probably more similarities than there are differences. So let's just go for them. Okay, so basically nutritionists learn all about nutrition. Generally, they're able to care for people who are in good health, who don't have any illness. And they're able to provide food and nutrition advice for people who how to eat well, how to maintain good health. And they do that by working in settings such as public health areas or working in community centres. Dietitians, on the other hand, are also able to provide nutritional advice and food advice to people in good health. But not only do that, they undergo additional training that enables them to provide individualized dietary advice. In other words, what we call medical nutrition therapy. So you're more likely to see dietitians working in hospitals or in the clinical setting. Occasionally you'll see them in other settings like food services in hospitals and things like that as well. So what I want to do is actually go through the training and the requirements of the courses that you'd like to do to become both a nutritionist and a dietitian. So let's start first by talking about what nutritionists do and where you might see them working. As I mentioned, we actually deal, if you're a nutritionist, you deal with providing food and nutrition advice to people who have good health to help them maintain health. So you might like see them working in the area of public health nutrition, providing health promotion activities. So for example, you might see nutritionists leading supermarket tours, teaching people how to choose healthy food. You might see them giving talks in schools, teaching children how to choose healthy foods, encouraging them how to eat well. Occasionally you might see them in media or marketing, providing general advice, or even working in food industry. Nutritionists are employed to actually help and develop new food products because, you know, it's all good and well to know about nutrition, but how to provide that in certain foods. So they work in food industry, in designing products, but also in what we call food service industries, in helping people to be able to, for example, school meals, you know, how to design appropriate school meals that provide the right nutrition for the children. Also, we'll see nutritionists working in research, and that's a really important area because obviously nutrition's changing all the time. The knowledge that we gain is changing. The food products that are available are changing all the time. And so research is an important component of what nutritionists do. So how do you become a nutritionist? Well, firstly, you have to know what a qualified nutritionist is. So I've got a definition down there. It says, a qualified nutritionist will normally hold a degree in food and nutritional science. Okay, so you need to hold a degree in food and nutritional sciences in order to be able to call yourself a nutritionist. So here at Hong Kong SPACE, what would you need to study to become a nutritionist? Bearing in mind that the aim is that you need to have a degree in food and nutrition, which we do offer here at Hong Kong SPACE, the courses that you need to study to enable you to get into that pathway often will vary from person to person depending on your academic background. So let me give you a few examples. If, for example, you have a degree or associate degree in biological sciences or related sciences, you may need to just do a few of our advanced or diploma certificates, and then you can enter what we call as our BSc Food and Nutrition program. After you do the food and nutrition program, you can call yourself a nutritionist. If you don't have a degree or associate degree in biological sciences, what is the pathway? Then you could do HKCE or HKDSE, okay? Go on and do our high diploma in food nutritional sciences and then enter our BSc food program. Or alternatively, if you're a mature student, then you can, if you're a mature student, have completed HKCE or HKDSE now with adequate work experience, then once again you can complete a number of our advanced diploma and certificate programs and also enter our BSc Food and Nutrition. So the advanced and certificate and diploma programs that you need to study for each of the different pathways will vary from individual to individual, depending on what you have studied. So if you've studied, say, for example, biology and chemistry at school, some of the studies, you may be exempted from some of the science type-based ones. If you've had some other courses of study elsewhere, then you may be exempted from certain areas. So that will be on an individual basis. What we would like to do this afternoon is share with you all of the advanced certificate programs that we have that would contribute to getting you into the BSc, but bearing in mind not everybody will have to do every one of those certificates. So what we're going to do is share with you all of them. Basically, we have some guidelines on our website, but if you're not sure and you're interested, you can always send us your CVs or your background, and we can give you some advice on that, individualized. So let's go through the green boxes. So the advanced diploma and certificate programs that we offer you at Hong Kong U SPACE that would enable you to progress into our BSc Food and Nutrition program. So to give you an idea how we need to order our study, basically there's three aspects of study that you need to consider to be able to progress to food and nutrition studies. The first one is we've got to talk about nutrition. So nutrition obviously is talking about energy, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, all the vitamins and minerals, what you need to eat, how much you need to eat, what are the problems with excess, what are the problems with inadequate intake. So you need that nutrition knowledge to become a nutritionist, obviously. And so we offer a range of advanced certificate programs that give you the basic nutrition knowledge. I'll go through each of those in a moment. The other aspect that you will need to consider to do in your studies to be able to enter the BSc program is you need to be able to do courses related to the food. Because obviously nutrition is one thing, but we get the nutrition from the food we eat. So you need to have a good understanding about food. So we also offer a lot of courses here related to food that will help you to gain entry into the BSc program. So for example, we offer the food science, we offer quality control and food safety, and we offer food service management as areas of study related to food. So you need the nutrition on the one hand, you need the food on the other hand, and then finally, if you want to progress your studies even further, it needs to be science-based. So while we may be able to tell you, oh, you need a certain amount of vitamin A, if you exceed a certain amount, this will happen to your body, you can get it from certain foods. If you want to delve even deeper, then we need to do the science-based. Because if you think about it, food is made out of chemicals. And so in order to be able to have a deeper understanding, you need to have an understanding of biology, organic chemistry, and then biochemistry, how that is transformed in our body and what happens to it. You also need to understand physiology, which is also how things happen in our body, how we move, and how nutrition relates to how our body functions. And so obviously, if you want to continue your study in food and nutrition, you need to have that science, in other words, the biochemistry and the physiology background to delve deeper. So let's start off by talking about the nutrition components first. So I'll just go through them, each of them separately. So the first program, and this is our most popular program, is our Advanced Certificate in Nutrition program. So this program is offered twice a year. We offer it every January and every July. This program runs over 6 months approximately, and it's usually 2 nights a week of study. So this program offers 3 modules of study. And the first module, you talk about the basic principles of food and nutrition. Then in the second one, we talk about applied nutrition, which is what we call life cycle nutrition. So in the first one, we will talk about, vitamins and minerals and why we need them. We'll also teach you them skills, for example, how to analyze diets. And then in the applied nutrition module, we'll talk about life cycle, how that will change when you are pregnant, when you're an infant, as you reach adulthood, and the changes in nutritional requirements related to aging and elderly. So that's the applied nutrition. Applied nutrition will also include things like sport as well. And in the final module of this program, it talks about food microbiology and food safety, because there's no point eating food it's not safe. So it's important to have a good idea of where we can get the food safely, because some microbes are safe and some are not, and some can be beneficial to health. So we have included a module in this program to teach you all about that. So basically, our Advanced Certificate in Nutrition program is our grounding. So it's the most basic program that we offer, and this program is actually the most popular. So if you're not sure about nutrition, you haven't decided about whether you really want to go on, I would recommend that you start with the Advanced Certificate in Nutrition first, because actually the information we provide in this course can be used in your day-to-day life. Okay, so even if you don't further your study, you're still able to use that knowledge anyway. Okay, the next program I want to share with you is the Advanced Certificate in Clinical Nutrition in Health Promotion. So in this Advanced Certificate program, it takes things the next step further. So this program comprises of 2 modules, clinical nutrition, where we actually introduce you to the concepts of nutrition and relation to different disease states. So we will talk about nutrition in relation to conditions such as diabetes, nutrition if you've got something wrong with your kidney, nutrition if you've got some cardiovascular or heart problems. So it's more clinical conditions that we'll teach you a little bit about to give you a bit more understanding of how that works. Then in the second module, we'll talk about health behavioral changes, because obviously at this level of learning, you're not able to actually give individualized dietary advice, even if you do the course and learn about what you should eat for diabetes. You're still not going to be able to advise anybody individually because you don't have that depth knowledge. But we decided to give you some knowledge on teaching health behavior changes so that you can help people make change. Because actually part of being a nutritionist or dietitian is not just the knowledge, but helping people change the way they eat. So people don't choose what they eat just because they know it's good for them or bad for them. They eat reasons for other reasons. And so actually learning about behavioral changes is another way for you to know the other applications of nutrition in a daily life. This program also is over 6 months. This program is only offered once every year, and we start this program every July. Next program is the Advanced Certificate in Child and Adolescent Nutrition. Similarly to the clinical nutrition, this program is also delivered over 2 modules. We divide it into nutrition for children and adolescents. In this case, we talk about nutrition requirements for children and growth under normal circumstances, in healthy circumstances. We will do things like school meals, health promotion in that area. And then in the second module, we do nutrition for children with special needs. And this is talking about the more clinical type conditions. So what should children who have diabetes, for example, need to eat? Or what should children who have kidney problems need to eat? Or if they've got food allergies, what they need to eat. So we talk a little bit more about that in the second module. Once again, this program is also only offered once a year. This program is offered every January, and it's over 6 months again. And classes are generally 2 nights a week. Now we have 2 new diploma programs. Okay, so we now we're offering it for the first time, the Advanced Diploma in Nutrition and the Advanced Diploma in Child and Adolescent Nutrition. Both of these programs are 1 year in length. Okay, so they're longer programs, but basically you cover a lot more detail, obviously, and it's a little bit higher level. So, for example, we are now. There are shared modules with some of the previous programs that I've taught before. So I'm not sure if you notice, but for example, if you remember, the Advanced Certificate in Child and Adolescent Nutrition has a module called Nutrition for Children and Adolescents. The Advanced Certificate in Child and Adolescent Nutrition has Nutrition for Children and Adolescents with Special Needs. So basically, these 2 advanced diploma programs have shared modules with some of the programs I offered earlier. So basically this gives you a better grounding. And if you like to think it in really brief terms, it's actually 2 certificate programs put together but offered over one year. Okay. Once again, this is over 2 nights a week. And people are asking me, well, if they're very similar to the 2 certificate programs, why should I do the advanced diploma program? Well, once I said some of the modules are slightly different and they're taught at slightly higher level, so the entry requirement is slightly different. The second thing is actually you don't have to be worried. So, for example, if you do the advanced certificate program and you want to continue study, you don't have to worry about getting your application in and worrying about getting into the next advanced certificate. Obviously, if you register for the whole program, you're in. So that has a second advantage. And the third advantage, which for some of you may or may not be useful, is actually it comes in at a lower cost if you want to be practical as well. Okay, so these are our 2 new advanced diploma programs. Now I'm going to pass you to Cami, who's going to introduce the next couple of certificates.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. So one of the recent popular programs is called Advanced Certificate in Sport and Exercise Nutrition Program, because while many of us more and more getting health conscious, and many of us may aware of the healthy lifestyle, which may not only include the healthy eating, but also active lifestyle as well. So if you are doing exercise, or if your family or friends are doing exercise, you may also wonder what to eat during exercise. Like, do we even need sports drinks or any food that can boost our performance? So this program will cover these details. And this program is a CEF reimbursable courses. So we can also, if you haven't used the fund, so it is also reimbursable program, one of them. And the program is also accepting the application as well. So this program will start in July. So as we talk about, there are 3 bubbles, right? So nutrition, also food, and also biochemistry is also important. So the second part is the food part. So these 2 programs are one of the programs about food. So food is a big field. One of the field is the food industry. So if you're working in the food-related business, so these 2 programs are suitable for you. So the first one, the left-hand side, the Advanced Certificate in Food Service Management, it will cover the basic important knowledge about food and nutrition. But also it will talk about how food service work. For example, like catering facilities, or also menu planning. How can we do this more efficiently? So there are many management skills as well. And also for the other programs, Advanced Certificate in Quality Control and Food Safety Management, which is also very important program. So this program is recognized under the Food and Environmental Hygiene Department, which is the Hygiene Manager Scheme. So these 2 programs are also CEF reimbursable courses. And also Food Service Management one is also accepting application, which will start in July. And the third food-related program is the food science one. So this program will cover food microbiology and also food safety, but also on top of the lectures, we also have laboratory practical sessions. And this is the whole module about the lab. So this is very interesting as well. So if sometimes when we go to the supermarket and you will see the food label, right? So there are many figures like protein, carbohydrates, how many grams in each food. So one of the questions we may wonder is, how do they do the test? How do they know about the figures? So this program will talk about like how they do the testing for the food so as to know about the content and different other food-related lab as well. So this program is a very interesting program and also very important one because it covers the food science. And also the final bubble, the human biochemistry and also physiology. Actually, we have both advanced certificate program or also short courses about this science as well. So this program Also, on top of the lectures, there are also lab sessions. So what is different about this program and also the food science one? This program will also cover the health-related tests. For example, like DNA gender tests, or also food allergy tests you may heard of, and also some of the like blood typing tests as well. So there are many different lab sessions that's included, which is also important for us to understand our health as well. So these cover all the science we need to know if you want to gain the knowledge to get to the next step, the bachelor degree in food and nutrition degree. So these are the advanced certificates covered, which are the bridging courses for the bachelor degree. I will pass the time to Wendy to talk more about the bachelor degree.
Thank you, Cami. Okay, so now we've just given you some idea about what are the advanced certificate programs and advanced diploma programs in food, nutrition, and the science related in Hong Kong U SPACE. I just want to mention that each of those programs are standalone programs, so you don't have to register for them all. You can do them one by one with sort of no time limit. It's totally up to you. But you don't actually need to do all of them to become into the BSc. So it's really depending on what your background is, what additional programs that you need to study. But we'll just give you an idea of the range. But to give you the idea of the range gives you an understanding of the basics that you need to have nutrition, you need to know some food, and you need some of that science before you can continue study in the BSc program. So what I'm going to do is talk about the BSc program next. But before I talk about the BSc program, I want to talk a little bit about Ulster University, because I'm not sure if you've noticed from all our brochures or literature that actually Hong Kong U SPACE here, we offer food and nutrition programs in collaboration with Ulster University. Ulster University, for those of you who don't know, is actually located in Northern Ireland, and we've been partnering with Hong Kong U SPACE, partnering with them to offer a nutrition and dietetics program since 1996. So the partnership has been long and strong. Next question is, you're probably thinking, why partner with Ulster in the first place? Well, actually, it's been actually ranked #1 in the UK for nutrition and food science by The Guardian this year. And it's also been ranked in the top 5 in the UK for biomedical sciences by The Guardian in the 2025. So obviously, clearly that in the US, in the UK, Ulster University is one of the top ranking in terms of the field of food and nutrition. So that's why it's really that we are very honoured to be able to partner with them to offer these programs. So let's go back to the food and nutrition program and the BSc program. So as I mentioned, most of you will probably have to do some advanced certificates or advanced diploma programs to be able to enter the BSc program. And you're thinking, why? I've already done some science, I've already done some food, I've already done some nutrition. Why do I keep needing to study? The reason is that the BSc Food and Nutrition program we offer at Hong Kong U SPACE is actually an extension program. So it's the equivalent of almost the final year of the nutrition program. And so this program, we offer both part-time and full-time. So we've been offering the part-time for quite some time, since 2010. And the part-time program is a 24-month program, in other words, 2 years. And the next intake will start in September and run to October 2027. If you interested in studying the BSc program part-time, but it will involve classes 3 nights a week. And then there's some laboratory sessions and additional guest lectures sometimes on the weekend. More recently, we have offered the full-time program. So if you're in a hurry to get your BSc program, your BSc, you may consider studying it full-time with us. This program is 18 months, and basically we follow the Ulster calendar exactly. And once again, the full-time program also starts in September. And basically, obviously, because it's full-time, most of the lectures take place Monday to Friday, puts you full-time. And most of them are in the day, except for some practical sessions on the weekend and occasional guest lectures in the evening. So we have options for study if you want to do the BSc program. And you're probably thinking, well, if I do the BSc extension program, what will I learn? You can see that there's a large lot of modules. So you'll things like food and nutrition entrepreneurship. There'll be things like nutrition assessment. You'll do things like clinical biochemistry. But then you'll also see that there's some topics that you've heard of from before. So remember I said there's advanced certificate in food science And so you'll see in the BSc it says food science again. Yeah. So why am I learning double? It's actually not double. Basically, it means you're going to learn more in depth at a higher level. So while the names may appear to be similar, it just means that you're going to the advanced level of study. Okay. So basically, there are some modules that are optional, depending on your background as well. But just to give you an idea. The one thing about the BSc program also is that it gives you a good basis for understanding research. Because actually, if you want to have a career in food or nutrition, you need to be able to read research papers. Okay, because nutrition knowledge is ongoing. So you need to be able to read, interpret, and if you're lucky or you want to go on, you need to be able to do some of that research yourself as well. So this makes you a professional. It's because the additional epidemiology, statistics, nutrition research methodology that will help you as well. So this is what you will learn in the BSc, and you will be taught by having not only just class lectures, but we might try to make it interesting and activity-based. So we'll arrange things like visits to local institutions, we have seminars, and we also even arrange volunteer internship opportunities. Okay, so now we've done the BSc. So you've done the advanced diploma programs. Remember, I've talked about a range. Then if you're interested, you can go on and do the BSc. If you finish the BSc program, you can call yourself a nutritionist because you have that degree in food and nutrition that requires you to be able to do that. Okay? What if you want to go on and do other things? Okay, so where do you go from there? Or what do you do if you already have a degree in food and nutrition? Well, here we also offer 3 additional programs. We offer programs that enable you to specialize after you've already done a degree in nutrition. One of them is the PG Cert Community Nutrition. The other one is the MSc in Sport and Exercise Nutrition. And the third one is the PGD MSc in Human Nutrition and Dietetics. So I'm going to go through these programs now. So if you've already got a degree in food nutrition or you've completed the degree in food nutrition with us, you can go on and study the PG Cert in Community Nutrition. So what is this program? This program doesn't teach you a lot of nutrition knowledge like the BSc program. Basically, this actually provides you with the practical training. So the difference with this program is it involves a supervised practicum so that you learn how to apply what you've learned in the BSc program. So that will enable you to be able to get jobs in community health as a community health practitioner, to work in nutrition as a nutrition health promotion officer in clinics, health centres. So most students find that very useful. This program is also a CEF reimbursable program. So for those of you who've done the degree but still don't have that practical experience to enable you to get a job easily, you can consider studying the PGC in Community Nutrition. The other area of specialty will be the sport, and I'm passing it to Cami for that.
Thank you. So the next one is the Master of Science in Sport and Exercise Nutrition program. So if you already have a degree in food and nutrition or biological sciences or sport-related program degree, and also interested in sport and exercise nutrition, you are eligible to apply to this program. So this program is a 2 years part-time program with a blended learning mode, so which can give you more flexibility in terms of time management. So what we mean by blended learning mode is that we have the online learning materials provided by Ulster University, and on top of these lectures, we also have face-to-face tutorials around once a week to help you to learn and understand the topics better. So to understand the materials by the Ulster University. And this program is an accredited program by Sport and Exercise Nutrition Register, the SENR. So this program provides appropriate academic training in sport and exercise nutrition. And what it means is that so after you graduate from this program, you are eligible to apply for the Sport and Exercise Nutrition Register with graduate registration. Also, there are some required certificates as well. So after graduation, you can apply for this center, and also this program, you will learn about the whole nutrition side lectures, and we also organize some workshops activities, such as some site visit to sports-related institutes, so as to help the students to learn better in this field as well. So these are the program, and also it is also run in collaboration with Austin University. Yeah. So I'll pass the time to Wendy to talk about the next topic.
Okay, so we have talked about nutritionists. So you know you need to have a degree in food and nutrition to become a nutritionist. Once you've got your degree in food and nutrition, you can choose to specialize. So you can go and do the community nutrition program and become a community nutrition. Or if you're really interested in sport, possibly another option is for you to do the sport. So what if you want to become a dietitian? What do you do? Well, actually, to become a dietitian in Hong Kong, you need to study the MSc PGD Human Nutrition and Dietetics program, which we offer here at Hong Kong U SPACE, also in collaboration with Ulster University. This is probably our flagship program. We're most well known for this program. So what I'm going to share with you a little bit about that now. Okay, so I think the first thing I need to talk about is, earlier we talked about what is a nutritionist and what do they do. Because the entry requirement to become into the PGD Human Nutrition and Dietetics is actually a BSc in Food and Nutrition. So that must mean you understand the fact that anything a nutritionist can do, a dietitian can do as well. So dietitians do all the things that nutritionists do, mainly because they've already done the BSc. So it's not because we're doing anything special, it's just that dietitians have undergone further study. Okay, so the further study that they underdo is actually more in the more clinical type area and more specialized in the community area. So basically, dietitians take people and do more individualized dietary advice. So we assess nutritional status of individuals. We take into account any medical condition that they have, any medications that they may be having, any of the lab tests or results that they have. Okay, and we take all those in consideration before we design an advice. And our training enables us to do that. After that, we make a nutritional diagnosis, we plan and implement a nutrition intervention, and then obviously we monitor. So it's because of our training, it enables us to be able to make that individualized advice. So the advice, for example, remember I said during the certificate programs, you will learn about nutrition management if you've got diabetes, for example. Okay, so you will just learn about that as the basic principles. But dietitians, we actually take it individualized. So it's not just the basic principles of, for example, don't eat sugar or whatever. It's also taking into consideration what medications they're having. So the diet, a person with diabetes who, for example, is on insulin injections would be quite different to the dietary advice we might give to somebody who is on oral medication, or even different to someone who doesn't need medication. So we would look at all these different aspects. Also, the advice we give would be different according to their body weight. So somebody who's overweight would have different requirements to somebody who's normal weight as opposed to someone who's underweight. Yeah. And also we take into consideration individual lifestyles. So somebody has to work shifts. If they've got diabetes, how would they manage that as opposed to somebody who doesn't have to work shifts? So dietitians take the next step. Yeah, we make it very individualized and we provide medical nutrition therapy. But we still do the things that nutritionists do, mainly because based on the training, we already have a degree in food and nutrition. So if you want to become a dietitian at Hong Kong U SPACE, I did mention that you have to do our Master of Science in Human Nutrition / Dietetics. Basically, what I'm sharing with you now is actually just one program, but it has 4 different exit points. Okay, so this program all starts off with you. If you're interested in doing dietetics, what you'll need to do is start off by entering our MSc or PGD in Human Nutrition first, and which is what we call Teaching Block 1. And if you do that 1 year part-time, you can graduate and get a PGD in Human Nutrition, or you can do an MSc project and end up with an MSc in Human Nutrition. If you've done the MSc in Human Nutrition or PGD in Human Nutrition, it doesn't qualify you to be a dietitian. Okay? You need to go on and further your study. But this still may be of interest of someone who's done a BSc but want to go further in depth. Okay? Maybe they were planning to do research later or whatever. If you want to be a dietitian, you need to continue your study. And you need to go on to do what we call Teaching Block 2, where you do 28 weeks of full-time study, which involves practice-based learning. Basically, that's a clinical placement in the hospitals. I have to say that everybody who wants to do dietetics must enter through PGD Human Nutrition first. You need to complete that. But not all people who get into the PGD Human Nutrition can get into the PGD in dietetics. There is further selection. Okay, we always take more people into the PGD Human Nutrition than we know places for, but there are specific numbers. Okay, and that's because we are not, because clinical placement places are extremely valuable, and we need to make sure that we utilize them more. So one of the ways we do that is by taking a little bit more, because people have changes in their life, and they change their mind about things, and so we need to have a little bit of a factor that counts in for that. So if you are successfully chosen after you've completed the PGD Human Nutrition to go on to dietetics, and you do your placement, which is full-time, then you could graduate with a PGD in dietetics. After you've completed that, you can consider to do an MSc project and turn that into an MSc in dietetics. So you can see from the two orange boxes, at these two levels, you can call yourself a dietitian. So your degree must be a PGD in dietetics or an MSc in dietetics before you are eligible to call yourself a dietitian. So just to make it a little bit clearer, to get into this program, so as I said, you start by joining the PGD Human Nutrition program first. Entry into the PGD Nutrition requires you to have a BSc degree in food and nutrition, or you have a degree in life sciences. So that could be like biology or biochemistry. And then you do some bridging courses, also individualized, and then you can go into the PGD Human Nutrition. Sorry. And as I said before, I think it's really important that you realize that it's not automatic, that if you go from the human nutrition, you can choose to exit, as I said before, and then you do the dietetics. The thing I want to highlight from this slide is to let you know that the PGD Human Nutrition program is actually part-time. So that you can do the first year part-time. Basically, it involves 2 evenings and Saturday afternoons. So it's a bit similar to the BSc, three days a week, if you like to think about it, of study. It is very intensive study, I have to say. So it is intensive study, so I'm not pretending that it isn't. And then if you find that you're still interested and you're qualified, then you can consider yourself and apply for the PGD in dietetics, which is not automatic, as I said before. And then the dietetics part is full-time, I have to express. So only year 1 is part-time, year 2 is full-time, okay? And just to give you an idea about the MSc or PGD in dietetics in terms of your qualification, so I just want to highlight that the graduates of the PGD in dietetics are qualified to work as dietitian in Hong Kong. It meets the requirements for employment by the hospital authority, and I've also deleted from my side here, but actually the Department of Health, it meets the requirement to be a dietitian working in the Department of Health as well. In addition, graduates of this program are eligible to apply for membership to become an accredited dietitian with the Hong Kong Academy of Accredited Dietitians. The Hong Kong AAD, or the Hong Kong Academy of Accredited Dietitians, is actually a body accredited by the Hong Kong Department of Health to hold an official register of dietitians, of qualified dietitians in Hong Kong. Okay, so this is an important qualification to be able to, so we're recognised by that. And also, graduates are also able to apply for registration as a dietitian in the UK under the Health and Care Professions Council, and that was previously known as the Health Professions Council. So you are able to get registration both Hong Kong and in the UK after completing PGD or MSc in dietetics. Okay, so that rounds it up. We've talked about an awful lot of programs, I'm sorry. But just to cap up a little bit of things, there are some commencement dates. We do have a number of courses that are starting in July. So we've just sort of put up a summary sheet to see, because all of you will be interested in different programs. But just to highlight, if you haven't studied nutrition before and you want to start somewhere, as I said, I would encourage you to start with the Advanced Certificate in Nutrition first. And that course will start in the 8th of July. We are still currently accepting applications, but they will be closing soon. So if you're interested in joining our July intake, I would encourage you to get your applications in as soon as possible. Otherwise, you have to wait till next year, basically. Okay, and other courses that are starting are the Advanced Certificate in Clinical Nutrition, Advanced Certificate in Sport and Exercise Nutrition. As I mentioned, we have an Advanced Diploma, so the Advanced Diploma in Child and Adolescent Nutrition will also begin in July. Moving on a little bit further, our PGT Human Nutrition, the BSc program, and the will be starting in September, along with the Advanced Certificate in Human Biochemistry and Physiology. And in October, we have an MSc in Sport and Exercise Nutrition, which can be talked about. And finally, in November, we'll have our PG Cert in Community Nutrition. So obviously, it's worthwhile, because I know you probably need to plan which studies you want to do. So yes, do bear in mind that you can look at this schedule. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to what we've had to share today. Hopefully I haven't gone through too quickly, but what I would like now to do is open for Q&A. So we are now open for questions from, perhaps we could start from the floor, from the audience in the room first. I'm not sure, would anybody in the room have any questions they would like to ask either of us or both of us? Any questions? Nope. Are you thinking of studying? Yeah. Is there any particular program you'd like me to elaborate more on? Because I know we did go through a lot of them quite quickly. Generally, the feature about programs that we offer at Hong Kong SPACE, the nutrition ones, the food nutrition ones, generally most of them are offered part-time, except for the dietetics. Okay, except for the full-time BSc, but we have a part-time one anyway. Yeah. Hang on.
You have mentioned there's a course, Advanced Diploma in Nutrition.
Yes.
And when will it be offered?
That will be starting in January 2026.
And what is the difference between the course and the Advanced Diploma in Child and Adolescent
Okay,
Nutrition?
Good question. Yeah, okay. So the two Advanced Diploma programs, the difference is the Advanced Diploma in Nutrition and the Advanced Diploma in Child and Adolescent Nutrition. Module 1, Module 2, and Module 3 are the same. Okay. The difference will be modules 4 and 5 for each of the programs. So if you do the Advanced Diploma in Child and Adolescent Nutrition, which starts in July, you will be doing the child modules. So the Advanced Certificate in Child, those modules. So it's more child focused. Okay. If you do the Advanced Diploma in Nutrition, which starts in January, those additional modules will be the clinical nutrition modules. Okay, because as I said, there are shared modules. Yeah. So it really depends on your interest. If you're interested in child, so for example, we get a lot of teachers who are interested in child nutrition, so maybe that's your interest, you can do that. If you're more interested in health promotion, then you might want to do the Diploma in Nutrition, Advanced Diploma in Nutrition. So it can vary according to your interest, yeah? But the first 3 modules are actually the same for both diplomas, yeah?
So I saw that there is one question from online. So Mr. Chan has a non-life science related degree. So if he wants to take the BSc program after completing the bridging courses, do there any tough selection process if he wants to get into the BSc program?
The BSc program does have selection, not as tough as the PGD. But generally speaking, if you meet the entry requirement, usually you can get an entry, because we offer that every single year. Yes, so yeah. So generally, yes. Though we have selection, generally if you meet the entry requirement, you're able to enter the course, yes.
So there are no more questions.
Any more questions from the floor? Yes.
In sport and exercise nutrition, in the leaflet it says that if you're recommended to have some science background, and if the last time I did science was back in high school, would that be sufficient?
It's sufficient.
Yes, that's right.
Sufficient, yeah. Yeah. Even though we recommend that, you'll probably see on all the leaflets for the advanced certificate programs, a lot of them we recommend that you've done some biology, organic chemistry at some point in your life. Because obviously, as I said, food and nutrition is very science-based. It's based on biology. It's based on how our bodies work. Chemistry, it's based on, because food's made out of chemicals. So yeah, we encourage it, but it's not a must. It's not a must. And if you've done some in school, that should be sufficient, yeah.
Okay.
And also just to remind you, if you are interested in doing the advanced certificate in sport and exercise nutrition, if you've already done the advanced certificate in nutrition, you get an exemption from Module 1. So if you're thinking of doing both, you're probably better to do the advanced certificate in nutrition first so that you can get the exemption for the Module 1 for the, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes. So there are two more questions. One is the follow-up question. Will the selection based follow up on the Mr. Chan's non-life science degree? So after he completed the bridging courses, so he's asking, will the selection based on the advanced certificate courses result, if there is any minimum GPA requirement to get into the BSc program? Yeah. No. So for this, yeah, for the BSc program, so after doing, so okay, so so after should be the answer is that this person, after completing the bridging courses with a pass and also meeting the entry requirements, he or she should be eligible to get into BSc program.
Yes.
So no GPA requirement.
Yes. In fact, we don't usually use GPA as a requirement because actually the way they calculate GPA from university to university is quite different. Yeah, so we will look at it as a modular basis.
So, and the other question is that one would like to ask about for entering the food science certificate and physiology program. It requires the short courses of chemistry and biology, the short courses 1 and 2 first. Is that the case?
That's correct. If you've done biology or chemistry in your secondary school, then you do not need to complete the short courses in human biology and organic chemistry. But if you didn't do any science at school at all, then you will need to, we recommend that you have to do the short courses, mainly because you don't even know the basics, yeah? Yeah.
Okay, so final question perhaps. So heard of the advanced certificate in clinical nutrition and health promotion. So it's more concentrated on the diabetes studies. What are the other conditions?
Okay, diabetes is just one topic, basically one lecture. Okay, so we talk about a range of conditions. So conditions, we'll talk about obesity management, we'll talk about diabetes management, we'll talk about cardiovascular disease, which is heart, we'll talk about kidney, which is the renal, we do oncology, which is the cancer. Okay, we will also do other conditions such as osteoporosis, as well. So yeah, we do a range of conditions, not just one topic only. Yes.
Okay, so if there are no more,
any more questions from the floor, perhaps? Any more online?
No, just. So if there are no more questions, if you would like to learn more about our programs, you can. We have Facebook or Instagram, also LinkedIn, that you can learn more about updates of our programs, so you can follow on our website. And you can also go to our Hong Kong U SPACE website to look at our programs as well.
And if you're not really sure about entry requirements or pathways to the different programs, you can send us individual email to the inquiry line or any of the websites, and we will tell us what your background is, and we can make recommendations if you're not really sure. Particularly if you're interested in, for example, the BSc, we can do that for you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.